In Matthew 4, we see this, that immediately after his baptism, Jesus goes into the wilderness, and there he's tempted by the devil. And we know that temptation has several stages to it. But here's part of the temptation in Matthew 4, 6, and 7. The devil says, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you. And it also written, on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone." And Jesus replied to him and said, "Again it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Then in verse 11 it says that after enduring the temptation, the devil left him, and behold, angels came and were ministering to him. So what I see here, and it seems obvious, is that Jesus knew full well that yes, there were in fact angels that were ready to minister to him in an instant. He could have easily done what the devil was suggesting. There was scripture for it. Jesus knew full well the resources he had at his disposal. The question of the enemy was well calculated. There was a need, there was a biblical answer, and he was connecting the two. Very cunning, isn't he? But see, there are some temptations that you just have to face alone. When it comes to putting your identity to the test, that is something you have to face on your own. God's grace is sufficient to help us with any kind of need we may have. But the question of identity doesn't get dealt with from the outside in. It can only be dealt with from the inside out by revelation rather than by assistance. See, the angels could minister to Jesus, but they couldn't reinforce his identity. In fact, if the angels had come to help Jesus while the devil was tempting him, that may have put into question Jesus' identity as the beloved Son of God. The angels were ready to minister. They were ready to help him out. But the question of identity had to be settled in Jesus' heart. Jesus knew that he was the beloved Son of the Father, and he knew he wasn't going to fall for the devil's tricks that were trying to convince him otherwise. So this is what we know, that yes, God is willing to help us. He is able to help us no matter what our need may be. But we will not fully overcome temptation until we know, really know, that we, like Jesus, are the beloved children of God. Not just the children of God, not just the sons of God, not like because he had to, but that we are his beloved children. And because we are his beloved children, we don't have to self-protect. We don't have to self-promote. We don't have to provide for ourselves. We can rest, we can trust in the loving arms of a Father who holds us, who calls us his beloved, who wants to help us, but he wants to shape our identity. Don't fall for the lies of the enemy that would come to tell you to try to question God's love for you. God's love for you is unconditional. God's love for you has been sealed since before the foundations of the world. God's love for you is not in question. Don't let the enemy lie to you about God's love for you. Trust him. Trust God. Listen to his voice. Receive his embrace and overcome that temptation.